Good afternoon, and don't hesitate to ask questions. There can be only 3 of them, so looks like I don't know what's going to happen. Anyway, thank you very much for those who have come to the presentation, and I'm going to move on to talking and keep it as short as possible for you within the 10 minutes. Forward-looking statement, as you know, and cautionary statement. The presentation is available on our website, and it's always been fully disclosure for us. I can talk a lot about the management, the people inside the company. I joined 2 years ago. I own a significant portion of the shares since then. And of course, I'm looking forward to share what we're doing. I'm not going to spend much time on the slide here, just to think that we have some very good institutional shareholders behind, including Mackenzie Fund, which is in Toronto, as well as SSI Asset Management in Liechtenstein, RBC Management in Toronto as well. And we're building what the base should be for a long story. We're in Yellowknife. You can see an inside picture of Yellowknife, a town of 20,000 people. It's important to understand that we're in Canada. It's the Northwest Territory. And Yellowknife, being in town, is very much cheaper. For those who may have known of my past, I'm a geologist with almost 40 years of experience. I built the Detour Gold story, the Detour Lake Mine, in 6 years. And what I can say about it is that being in town, everybody goes home at night, is a big advantage in terms of infrastructure, in terms of cost, in terms of doing anything you want. And that's very important for us to be in town. It's a big advantage. We have a resource of 1.2 million ounces that was defined and upgraded from the previous one, from drilling in the north part. But what attracted me as much as possible, and what made me become a shareholder, what made me become the leadership of this company, was the potential of the camp. It's Archean geology, so deposits are strike length, and they go deep. And what's very important about the camp is the fact that, yes, we control a huge amount of property, 800 square kilometers of an Archean greenstone belt between the contact between volcanic and sediments. But the Campbell Shear is what mined 14 million ounces of gold over a period of 60 years. It was shut down in 2003 when the gold price hit the lows, or following the lows of 89, 99, and 98. And of course, a few years after, gold went up again. But the fact that the mine was closed, the fact that you mined 14 million ounces over 7 kilometers, and the fact is that the Campbell Shear is 70 kilometers long, probably 10 kilometers deep, is your gold plumbing system. And the mines, which was very interesting for me, is that they mined 15 grams and 22 grams. This is high grade. The biggest thing I learned at Detour, to make it very short, infrastructure is important, much cheaper to run, but also I would never do another detour because it's low grade. So our focus at Gold Terra was, and the reason I came to Gold Terra was to have a high grade deposit north of 10 grams. That's our target. And so the first thing I did was to do a deal with Newmont, which is, when you look back at the previous slide, it's a very small part. If you look, for example, this is 5 million ounces produced at the Con mine, from approximately 300 meters vertical to about 2,000 meters vertical, 1950. And what was I finding very interesting is the fact that to the south, you can see that it's open. The Campbell Shear continue, and it continue here. This hole here at the bottom of the slide, K06, was drilled in 1961, 8 grams over 8 meters. Never follow up since 1961. Along the Campbell Shear, 100 meters vertical. So you can imagine, you put the pieces together, and the northern part, north of Giant Mine, where we control another 30 kilometers of the Campbell Shear, there's been no exploration. Nobody ever tested it. And if you look at any Archean gold camp, there's always a major structure, a major deposit, and multiple small ones. And so our strategy is very simple, was get the Campbell Shear. So we did the deal with Newmont, and of course we started to drill. This is our 2021 drilling. As we speak, we're still currently drilling. But what our compilation gave us is What does 5 million ounces look? Because it doesn't come to surface. The extension of the Con mine is the giant mine, discovered by Neil Campbell in 1946. So we started compiling level plan, longitudinal, putting all the deposits all together to find out that this is your 5 million ounces that was mined. Then there's a fault here that cut off the deposit. I bet you if they had found anything here, they will still be mining probably. But they didn't because it's displaced. And we believe that the whole displacement is right in that sector here. For example, 14 grams over 5.27 meters. You can see the plunge here. So if you go there, the plunge is right there. So they stopped too short. And so this 2021, we've been drilling around here. And eventually, we're going to be going deeper and deeper. But why going deep right away when you can do it near surface and find gold near surface? Because with that discovery here, we can drive around. You can see a section here that shows the deposit from the cutoff of the deposit that goes up to the giant. You see the million ounces of the Con mine and the Campbell Shear where they mine 5 million ounces. Our drilling is very simple. We're just showing not historical drilling. We have so far approximately 12 holes drilled in 2021 since July, but we've only been able to release 3 holes so far. There is a problem in Canada. Assay lab, instead of like 3 weeks, it's now up to 7-8 weeks. There's a bit of a bottleneck in the assay lab. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but at the end of the day, the drill hole is being done, the value creation is happening, and we can share the result, which is hole 16, 12 grams versus 3 meters right at surface. And then you can see here 12 gram, 5 meters on 14. Those are the 2 holes that we released this year. And of course, the 2 holes that we drilled earlier this year, 3 and 5. And basically what we know is that this is probably about 200 to 300 meters in strike length, but open at depth. So we just need to prove it up. Roughly, we think that we're probably going to end up with 500, maybe 1 million ounces on that lens, and we just need to have more. I know the resource of this right away, but I cannot talk about it. But we know that the potential will be conservative by saying 3/4 million ounces. So you find 2 more lenses, and you're up at 2 million ounces. Here's a section that shows the result of our drilling. And you know, this is 11 grams over 5, but when you look at this, this could be also 5 grams over 18 meters. I can tell you, 5 grams over 18 meters when gold price is 1,800 is economic. There's no question. So you can drive around because it's near surface and basically reach out. This is barely 300 meters below surface. And you can see all the results we've had so far, the best one. But there's more to come, and we look forward to share. And finally, it's a very, very simple. Look, I've built 3 gold mines in my career. 2 when I was at Barrick and Detour Lake. And if anybody wants to see if I can do it, just look at the Detour Gold story. $100 million market cap at IPO, $140 million, to $5 billion sold to Kirkland Lake. And I'm not saying we're going to get a $2 billion or $5 billion company, but I know how to find gold, I know how to define it, and I know how to bring it to production. Sometimes people ask me, what's your game plan? It's very simple. Create value for the shareholders. That's all I need to do. I don't need to say, oh, I'm going to sell. No. It's not how you do it. You create the value all the way through finding more ounces or putting it in production. And our timeline is very simple. We have money in the bank, about $3 million. We may raise money in Q1 2022. We already have a resource of 1.2 million ounces. 1 million ounces to be added next year along the Campbell Shear at 10 gram plus. And finally, getting into feasibility study and baseline study to bring the project into production. Thank you very much for your time.